you've lived in your home for 15, maybe 20 years, you raised your kids there, you know every creak in the floor, and now you're thinking it's time to downsize to something smaller, something easier, something that fits where you are in life right now. But then you open a closet and you just close it back. Sound familiar? Downsizing is one of the most emotionally loaded things a person can do. It's not just moving, it's making decisions about your entire life, one box at a time. But here's what I've learned helping families do this in Lee Summit and across the metro. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. There's a way to do it that actually feels good. And by the end of this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to start. How to get your home ready to sell in this process. Last week, we talked more about the emotional side of downsizing. Today, we're talking about downsizing, not just the idea of it, but the actual how. The practical steps to declutter your home, let go of the stuff that's been piling up for decades, and get your house in a position where buyers are going to walk in and to fall in love with it. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I put out videos every week, and I think this one is going to be really valuable if you're even just starting to think about making a move. All right, let's get into it. First thing you need to do, change how you're thinking about this. Before we talk about boxes and donations and all that, we need to talk about the mindset for just a second. We already talked about it for a few minutes in the other video, but it bears repeating. Most people approach downsizing like they're losing something, and that's where it gets painful. You're holding on to a coffee table and thinking about the family dinners that happened around it, and suddenly you can't let go of the coffee table. I get it. We've been there. But here's the reframe that I've seen help people the most. Downsizing isn't about losing your past. It's about choosing your future. The stuff in your home served a season of your life, and now you're stepping into a new one. A home that's easier to maintain, more time for the things that you actually want to do and enjoy. Maybe less lawn, less cleaning, less stress. That's the trade you're making, square footage for freedom. When you start to see it that way, the decisions get a little easier. And here's one that really stuck with me. I had a client last year, she had just lost her husband of many years. That's a lot to carry. And on top of the grief, she's sitting in this house that's suddenly way too big, full of memories, and she's trying to figure out what's next. We ended up selling her home. Instead of just buying something smaller for herself, she did something kind of beautiful. She bought a house for her daughter and their family, and then she moved into the basement. They finished the basement out into her own separate living area just for her, her own space, her own privacy, but surrounded by family. I ran into her recently and she was glowing. Her life feels so simple now. No maintenance stress, no rattling around in a big empty house. She's got her grandkids upstairs and she's got her family around her. That's what downsizing can look like. It's not always about moving into a smaller house. Sometimes it's about moving closer to what really matters. So what do? You start small. So the number one mistake people make when they decide to downsize is they try to do everything at once. They open the garage, look around, feel completely defeated, and go back inside and watch TV. Have you been there? Here's what actually works. You pick one room, not the garage, not the basement. You start with something that has lower emotional weight. A bathroom, a guest room, the laundry room. Get a win behind you. That momentum is everything. Once you've done that one room, you'll feel it. That lighter feeling when you walk in. That's the feeling you're chasing for your whole house. Now, for every single item you pick up, you're asking yourself one of four questions. Do I use this? Do I love this? Does this fit my next home? And if the answer to all three is no, it goes. You're creating 4 piles: a keep pile, a donate pile, a sell pile, and a trash pile. 4 piles, every room, no exceptions. For the stuff with sentimental value, and there will be plenty of it, here's a tip I love. Give it a deadline and give it a home. Put the sentimental items in a box, write the date on it. 3 months from now, if you haven't opened that box before that date, you probably don't need what's in it. And if you do open it and there are things your kids or your grandkids want, let them come and get it. A gift, it's not a loss. If no one wants it and you want to keep the memories, take pictures of it. And if you don't have the space, then you can dispose of it. You will have the photos to remember it by. Just to recap, you're creating 4 piles: keep, donate, sell, and trash. 4 piles, every room, no exceptions. Here's where I put on my real estate hat for a second, because getting your home ready for the market is a little different than just decluttering for yourself. When a buyer walks through your home, they're not seeing your life. They're trying to picture their life in your house. And that is incredibly hard to do when every surface has family photos, collectibles, and stuff that's accumulated over 20 or 30 years. So what we want to do to help the buyer see the bones of the house, space, the light, and the layout, and not get distracted by everything else. Here's the practical checklist. Countertops, clear them completely. Kitchen counters, bathroom counters, all of it. If you have a toaster and a coffee maker and a blender and a paper towel holder all on the counter, that kitchen looks smaller than it is. Clear it off. The closets, buyers open everything, and the closet that's stuffed to the ceiling says not enough storage, even if it's perfectly normal sized closet. Aim to have your closets about 30 to 40% empty. Yes, really, it makes it look bigger. Personal photos, this one's hard, but take most of them down. A few family photos is warm. Every wall covered is a little overwhelming for buyers who's trying to imagine their own life there. Furniture, if a room has too much furniture, it feels really small. You may need to pull a few pieces out and put them in storage temporarily. We want buyers to feel like they have the room to breathe. Once you've decluttered for the market, go stay somewhere for a night and come back and walk to your own house. You'll be amazed. It'll feel completely different. That's what the buyers are going to feel when they walk into your house for the first time. What do you do with all this stuff? That's a great question. All right, so you've sorted everything out. Now what? For the donate pile, there are so many great options right here locally. Habitat for Humanity, Hillcrest, Restore is fantastic for furniture and home goods. There are other companies that will do large pickups. Facebook marketplace groups where you can literally put stuff on your curb with a free sign and it'll be gone in less than an hour. For things with real value, antiques, jewelry, nicer furniture, look into an estate sale company. A good estate sale can actually generate meaningful money and handle all the hard decisions for you and the heavy lifting. They price it, they run it, they deal with the people. That's definitely worth looking into. For the stuff that's truly just trash, and there will be some, rent a dumpster. I know it feels like a big step, but there is something incredibly satisfying about filling a dumpster and watching it drive away. Don't underestimate that feeling. I've done that. Now, real quick, I want to give you a heads up on something that trips people up. A lot of folks plan on having an estate sale and figure that will take care of everything, and it might. But here's what you need to know. Estate sale companies aren't always interested in taking your job. If they don't think there's enough value in the sale with what you have, they will pass on it. No sale. And even if they do hold one, whatever doesn't sell, that's still your problem. You will need to negotiate with them up front about who handles the removal of everything that's left. Because the goal is to hand over an empty house, not spend the last week scrambling to clear out what didn't sell. Go in with the plan B, know your options before you're counting on the sale to solve everything. And one more thing, start early. If you're thinking about listing in the spring, start decluttering in January. This process takes longer than you think, especially if you're doing it right and being thoughtful about it. Give yourself time, because rushing it leads to regret. Okay, so let's land the plane here. Downsizing is not about getting rid of your memories. It's about making room for the next chapter and setting your home up so that when it hits the market, buyers can actually see themselves there. Start with one room, sort everything into 4 piles, clear the surface, thin out the closets, pull back on the personal touches, and give yourself more time than you think you need. If you're thinking about making a move here in Lee Summit or anywhere in the Kansas City metro on both sides of the state line, I would love to chat. I work with a lot of people going through this exact transition, and honestly, it's some of the most rewarding work I do, because when people get to the other side, they feel so much lighter. You can email me at info@movingwithmark.com or just leave a message. No pressure, just a conversation. If you found this helpful, drop a comment below and let me know what's the one thing that's in your house right now that you absolutely cannot get rid of. I'm curious. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. New videos are out every week, all about life here in Lee Summit and the Kansas City metro. I'll see you on the next video.